Allez, salut à tous, je balance la musique, voilà, c'est parfait. Donc salut à tous pour... je vais mettre la musique moins forte parce que c'est absolument pas possible. Donc oui, salut à tous, merci d'être déjà 54, j'espère bientôt plus pour cette interview exclusive avec Breakdown de la SDA, donc Breakdown, notre speedrunner de la Speed Demos Archive sympathique, qu'on a vu pendant le marathon violer évidemment des jeux tels que Super Meat Boy, Devil May Cry, je vais y arriver, en Dante Must Die, et Zelda, The Legend of Zelda sur NES en versus, de très très belles performances, et également un monsieur très sympathique. Donc pour vous expliquer juste le format de l'interview, c'est-à-dire... donc Breakdown va parler surtout en anglais. Moi, je traduirai ses réponses après qu'il nous ait parlé. Les questions seront affichées en français sur le chat. Et donc voilà, on va essayer de faire du mieux que je peux, bien évidemment. Et ça sera assez dur. Donc Breakdown a un peu d'écho, mais ce n'est pas grave, ce n'est que de l'amour évidemment. Je l'accepte immédiatement. Alors voilà, hello Chip.
Hello,
Yeah.
or bonjour, or bonsoir, I guess would be more appropriate for most of the viewers.
Yeah. So yeah, anything you want to tell the already about 70 people here. So yeah, whatever you want to tell them, just go ahead.
Alright, well, thanks for coming out and appreciate all the support at the marathon. It was really great to see such a solid French presence in the stream. It was a really cool thing to see. So thanks to all of you.
Yeah, bon, so I'll translate anyway. So oui, donc voilà, donc Breakdown qui vous remercie tous, très content d'être là et qui remercie évidemment toute la présence française lors du marathon, la présence d'eLive. On va être aussi présent et de donner de l'argent entre autres, bien évidemment. Donc on va commencer. I think we'll start with the questions right now. So since we have the Q&A with the chat room afterwards, so we can already start. What do you think?
Alright, let's
Okay,
get to it.
oh yeah, before we get started, I'll just make the promotion for the links right there. Alors, donc oui, Chip Breakdown Vogel. Donc ici, évidemment, vous avez les trois liens ici. La Speed Demos Archive, évidemment, là où il travaille, la SDA, speeddemoarchive.com. Le canal Twitch de Breakdown où de 2 à 3 fois par semaine, il fait des petits tests de speedrunning en live. Vous pouvez être sur le chat et discuter avec lui. Il a également un canal YouTube où il a uploadé diverses vidéos, voilà. Quant à moi, vous me connaissez, voilà, c'est mon site pour la musique, c'est mon YouTube où j'upload de la musique également. Et on dit aussi un merci à Electrochoc, il y aura quelques vidéos d'Electrochoc, évidemment qui collabore avec la Speed de Mozartcaf, qui est un français qui caste également sur eLive. Et son canal YouTube retransmet régulièrement des vidéos HD de la SDA, du Speed de Mozartcave. Et d'ailleurs, il a commencé à re-uploader des vidéos du marathon. Donc voilà, alors je vais essayer de faire ça comme il se doit. And we'll start with a question. I think I forgot no, I didn't forget the icon. Fantastic. So, okay, so first question for you, Chip. So, yeah, first, can you introduce yourself and tell us about your role over at the Speed Demos Archive? And also, can you briefly tell us how many people work on the website and what are their roles on it? So, yeah, I added that part. So,
Alright then.
go
Well,
ahead.
as already been said multiple times, I'm Chip Vogel, better known around the internet as Breakdown. I'm one of the updaters over at Speed Demos Archive. I write the front page updates for the site, providing you with lovely speedrunning content. I also help to co-plan the marathons. As for staff size, there's, let's see, about 8 of us currently. There's Flip, who handles verification and submissions. He was recently joined by Pwixel, who did Final Fantasy VII at the marathon.
Right.
He just came on board. He's also going to be helping out with submissions and verification. Two other updaters, Warple Edge and Dex. And of course, I'm forgetting people. Of course, let's see. There's Moo, who handles our game pages, the actual pages where the runs are posted with like the comments and the little blurb at the top. And of course, Mike Uyama, who's been doing timing for the site and also is the main man behind the marathons. He does the bulk of the planning for them. So I think that's everybody. I'm sure someone's going to tell me I forgot them, and yeah, I'll have to apologize profusely. But
No problem. So, oui, donc voilà, Chip Breakdown Vogel, qui est un des updaters du site de la SDA, donc qui met à jour le site avec du nouveau content de speedrunning, qui a été rejoint récemment par Pouexil. Pouexil, on l'a déjà vu, René Final Fantasy VII sur le marathon, bien entendu. C'est un runner de RPG, hein, il a aussi Parasitev sur son canal YouTube, entre autres. Donc voilà, qui l'aide. Ils ont été rejoints par deux personnes, je crois que c'est Warple Edge, mais j'ai peut-être mal prononcé le mot, et Nex, I think. What were the other two people besides you and Puexel as updaters? Breakdown?
As updaters, that would be Dex and Vorpal Edge.
Dex, Warple Edge. Ok, donc voilà les deux personnes qui l'ont rejoint. Et donc Mike Uyama, évidemment, qui est le gérant du site et qui s'occupe tout simplement de maintenir le serveur à flot et de faire la promotion. Et on a également un gentil monsieur qui s'occupe de mettre à jour toutes les pages de jeux, hein, tout simplement. À chaque fois que vous allez sur un jeu sur la SDA, évidemment, vous avez la page du jeu avec les liens vidéo et toutes les annotations speedrun. C'est lui qui s'occupe de mettre en gros à jour cette page-là. Ok, I think I translated most of it, so
Okay.
we're good to go for the second question, which would be right. Okay, so how's the pool of speedrunners growing since the SDA's birth? And will we see more of the recent games on the website, such as PlayStation 3, 360, and Wii, and recent PC games? How difficult is there a difficulty for people to just speedrun and upload newer games on the website, basically?
Well, it's not really so much a difficulty with running the newer games. It's just that the amount of like tricks and whatnot is not as well established on the newer games. Like we have a fair number of 360, PS3, Wii titles like actually on site currently, but it's just it's I don't know. I think speedrunning comes from more of like with people who grew up with the games. It's just coming back to them and just really latching on to something from their childhood, and you see less of that with the newer
Yeah,
consoles.
nostalgia factor, a huge
But
factor.
there,
Yeah.
but yeah, you do see people planning out the newer games. I mean, we featured during the marathon a number of newer games.
Yeah, there was Deus
Vanquish,
Ex, right? Mm.
Deus Ex, yes, Portal 2, Super Meat Boy,
Yeah.
shameless self plug. As for how the initial pool has grown, well, really, like Quake, SDA started out as a Quake site, like exclusively, and the switch to like more games was made in 2004. And just since then, it's just kept growing and growing and growing, and I think it's gone past what really anybody initially thought the website was going to do initially. But there we are. You know, we've got like about 700 games on the site
Yeah, it's huge
currently,
already.
and that number looks to continue to grow. And SGA's got showing no real signs of slowing down at this point. So.
Ok. Alors, donc, oui, alors donc, depuis la naissance de la SDA, donc la SDA qui existait depuis un certain moment, mais qui est passée en 2004 en mode, qui a commencé en tant que site de speedrun de Quake, mais qui ensuite est devenu un site de speedrunning général, où il y a donc plus de 700 jeux à l'heure actuelle. Et donc oui, on parlait évidemment donc de ces nouveaux jeux. Pourquoi il n'y a pas encore une masse de nouveaux jeux PlayStation 3, 360, oui, etc. sur le site. Ensuite, c'est vrai que dans les nouveaux jeux, comment dire, il n'est pas aussi facile de localiser les glitches et les choses pour optimiser un run. Le facteur n'est pas aussi comment dire, localisé, il est plus aléatoire que sur les jeux old school. Et il y a aussi le facteur de nostalgie évidemment qui joue sur tout ce qui est les vieux jeux NES, Super NES et autres. C'est à 8-16 bits, qui fait qu'en général, c'est surtout à ces jeux-là qu'on revient. Mais bon, voilà, Chip nous dit aussi qu'évidemment, pendant le marathon, on a quand même vu une bonne partie de jeux récents, tels que voilà, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Vanquish, Super Meat Boy, on a eu Bayonetta. Et donc, comme nous le disait plus haut Dead Eye, Halo Reach, Portal 2, voilà, exactement. Donc finalement, il y a des gens qui s'intéressent à René. Évidemment, si vous voulez René, vous verrez tout ça sur le forum. Si vous voulez René un nouveau jeu, vous pouvez avoir de l'aide sur le forum si vous parlez un minimum anglais, bien évidemment. Okay, I think I have translated most of it. This is kind of crazy. I'm gonna launch a new music. Let's see what we have here. There we go. So next up, the third question, which is yeah. So say a new guy or girl wants to start speedrunning a game, and they speak English, since we are talking also about the SDA website. So, what kind of hardware or setup would be required, and what would be your general advice for doing that, basically?
Let's see. Well, in terms of hardware, if you want to do everything on your own end, you're going to need either a DVD recorder or a capture card. And there's plenty of guides on the website for ways to actually, like, get that footage from your capture card or your DVD recorder actually to a submittable format. We have a link to the front on the front page to what we call our knowledge base, and it'll tell you everything you wanted to know, and then a little bit about recording pretty much every console out there. Um, let's see. We also have our tech guy Nate. Nate is actually someone I completely forgot in talking about staff, which is shame on me because he does so much for the site. So much for the site. He does all the video encoding, and he's also written two programs. One called ANRI-chan, which basically lets you take your videos and compress them and put them into multiple different qualities for viewing. And another one he more recently came up with called Nori-chan. Nori-chan is basically, it's compatible with the EasyCap capture card, and it basically does all the work for you in getting footage from that into a submittable format. So those are, but DVD recorder or I guess EasyCap now, since it's got the most SDA support behind it, are probably the two best ways to get submittable footage.
Okay.
I can do part two of that question, but I might want to let you just translate that bit
Yeah,
first.
that's a good idea. I was about to
All right.
to tell you about that. So yeah. Donc pour la première partie de la question qui est celle du matériel donc qui sera requis pour un nouveau speedrunner. Donc évidemment, vous avez deux choix, vous avez un enregistreur DVD ou bien une carte de capture. En sachant que, bon, évidemment, pour l'une ou l'autre option, vous avez évidemment des tutoriels disponibles un peu partout sur le net. Et si vous parlez anglais, ou si vous avez quelqu'un qui peut vous aider, vous avez également la partie knowledge base, donc la base de connaissances disponible sur le site de la SDA directement, qui vous explique un peu justement tout le micmac, tout ce qu'il faut faire pour s'organiser au niveau technique. Et donc aussi le tech guy, l'ingénieur un peu de la SDA, comment dire, a également fait plusieurs tutos disponibles en divers endroits et a également codé deux programmes. Un qui sert à la compression vidéo, hein, tout simplement pour compresser que ce soit vos données FRAPS ou MPEG énormes pour rendre les vidéos soumettables à la SDA. Ou il a également codé un deuxième programme qui s'appelle Nori-chan, donc qui est compatible avec la carte de capture EasyCap et qui vous permet en gros, qui fait tout le travail pour vous. En gros, vous partez de votre capture que vous lancez et grâce à ce programme, vous avez au final tout simplement une run qui est compatible SDA, qui est soumettable à la SDA, tout simplement, n'est-ce pas? So yeah, we can go with part two with your advice about for new
Okay.
speedrunners.
Well, best advice I can give a new speedrunner: pick a game you like, a game you don't mind sinking possibly hundreds of hours of videos. Like, you're seeing like that final attempt, that one where everything went right, and in almost all cases, there are literal hundreds of attempts that don't go just right. It's just a game like you don't mind really pouring yourself into. There's a lot of research that needs to be done and just a lot of general practice to get a run on SDA. It's I think with the exception of one run, one of the Solstice for the NES, the guy says he got his attempt on his first actual attempt of the game, but that was also after he had another run on the site before that he practiced a whole bunch, but then he routed it out and he got it on his first attempt. But other than that, I mean, it's a lot of trial and error and a lot of attempts, so make sure it's a game that you like. And don't get discouraged because it can take a long time to get a run. Those are really the two big things. You got to be able to keep at it.
Okay. And so the forums, right, are I'll translate the whole thing. I think I'm good now. But for the forums are there just so if one decides to start speedrunning a game, then on the forum it can get help from many people, right, concerning finding the glitches that are available on the tool-assisted speedruns, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, SDA forums are a great resource, definitely. You'd be surprised what people know about games, like just totally random games out there. You'd be really surprised what kind of knowledge exists on SDA's forums. Other good places to check out are like TAS videos. If like a tool assisted
All right.
tool-assisted run's been done for a game, you can look at that and see if there's anything you can take away with it. Sometimes it's all, just frame-perfect luck manipulation that you can't expect to do in real time, but sometimes it's, really usable stuff. And weird places too, like random Let's Plays on YouTube, sometimes will show you something you never thought of that you can use. So it definitely pays to research your games completely, but also seek out help elsewhere on the internet.
All right. Perfect. So that's quite some content to translate, but yeah, I wrote everything down.
Best of
So,
luck to you.
yeah. Alors, donc voilà, pour la partie plus, comment dire, philosophique de la chose, plus théorique. Donc, bon, évidemment, Chip nous dit évidemment idéalement, vous prenez un jeu que vous aimez, car tout simplement, bah, évidemment, dans un speedrun, on voit le résultat fini, hein, la run parfaite, la run qui fait dire mais c'est n'importe quoi, comment font-ils, ce sont des animaux. Mais évidemment, vous allez mettre plusieurs centaines d'heures dans un jeu dont vous allez décider que vous allez faire un speedrun dessus, tout simplement, ce n'est pas du français, ce n'est pas grave. Donc voilà, vous allez passer plusieurs centaines d'heures sur le jeu que vous avez décidé de speedrunner, donc il faut aimer le jeu évidemment. En général, hein, avant d'avoir un résultat fini, ça prend autant de temps. Breakdown nous parlait de l'exception du run de Solstice où le speedrunner, pour améliorer son record, avait un peu taffé, mais finalement à son premier essai avait réussi à battre son record. D'ailleurs, le run de Solstice qui sera sûrement dans le prochain spin-down des jeux violets, parce que le run de Solstice ne veut absolument rien dire. Donc voilà, il faut tout simplement s'entraîner, rater, se réentraîner, beaucoup voilà, de trial and error, hein, bien évidemment, d'essais et d'échecs. Et ne pas se décourager. Et donc ensuite, je lui demandais par rapport justement au forum SDA, où évidemment, si vous parlez anglais, vous pouvez, dès que vous commencez à runner un jeu, à avoir de l'aide sur les forums SDA. Et donc voilà, sur les forums, vous allez avoir plein de gens, même sur des jeux très obscurs, qui connaissent, voilà, qui connaissent un peu les glitches divers, les glitches du TAS, ou qui ont saigné le jeu et qui vont vous donner par rapport à ce que vous mettez sur YouTube, des conseils pour optimiser quelques sauts, des runs, etc. Et comment dire, vous pouvez aussi aller sur tasvideos.org pour voir des tasses et demander des questions. Alors des fois il y a des glitches évidemment qui sont infaisables, reproductibles à la manette, mais des fois c'est possible, donc voilà. Et même sur des vidéos au pif sur YouTube d'ailleurs, vous pourrez trouver de l'aide pour bah, tout simplement voir des choses qui vous diront oh mon Dieu, mais oui, mon Dieu, c'est vrai, j'aurais pu améliorer mon run en faisant ci et ça, donc voilà, il n'y a pas de souci, tranquille, le slip, à l'aise blaise. Okay, I think I've done it.
Congratulations.
Yay, thank you. So next up, question 4 from me anyway. So yeah, so personally, do you plan to submit new runs on the website, or are you working on portable games, or will you just stick to your role as updater and moderator?
Well, I have so many projects on the back burner currently. It's kind of crazy, honestly. Let's see. The last run I actually attempted to try to do was Legend of Zelda. Get a run for the site.
Yeah, that explains why you were so
was
good
working
at
on-
it during the versus run.
Yeah. Well, actually, a run was recently submitted for the game, which is really, really good. It's one to look forward to, certainly, by SDA member Darkwing
Oh yeah,
Duck.
right.
Yeah, promises to be very good. I've seen the run already, and yeah, it's really, really good. But I might come after it. I might. But there's lots of other games too. There's a lesser-known Super Nintendo game, Brandish. That's a game I know if I don't do it, nobody else will. So I might do that run for the site.
Was it
Other
Brandish?
games like
Is the
Brandish,
name of the game,
yes.
or you just? Wow, never heard of it. That's nice.
It's more on the obscure side and generally reviled, but I like it personally, and it's definitely a case if I don't
Okay.
do it, I don't think anybody else will. So
That's good, yeah.
yeah,
That's good security.
but a few other games too, like Earthworm Jim. I've been meaning to
Oh,
do
right.
an SDA run for that, just never really got around to it. Battle of Olympus
On
for
which
Nintendo.
system? On
What's
Earthworm
that?
Jim? Which system for Earthworm Jim?
Genesis.
Genesis, yeah, best version. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, Battle of Olympus, I know that game.
Yeah, it's that's another one a couple people have tried and just nothing really comes of it, and I'm on that list. I had it all routed out, I just never actually finished it, and I started playing Zelda, and it got backburnered, and it's never found its way back. But so
Yeah, well,
I don't think
that
I'm
would be
done.
in line with Zelda 2 and Facts and Edu, actually.
Kinda, yeah, to a degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like I don't want to say I'm done doing runs for the site. It's just that the time gets harder to find is really the case. It does take a lot of time and dedication to do a speed run, like I've said. So with the
Yeah.
marathon runs, it's just I don't know. The strats are generally a little safer. They're just easier to plan out. It's just be competent at the game, be good at it. You don't have to like click on every level with every
Yeah,
trick.
you can do a few missteps, yeah, as long as the run is entertaining.
Yeah, but for a submitted run, you want to iron all that out and do the very risky strategies. So it just takes that extra level of dedication. So but in the meantime, and I don't want to say updating and site moderation, really conflict with that, but it's something else that takes time. So
Mm.
it I'm hard pressed to remember the last time someone actively on staff has submitted a run. It's been quite some time
Oh,
since
really?
anybody on staff has actually submitted a run, but so
Okay. That's okay, that's perfect. So, donc voilà, au niveau plus personnel, Breakdown a quand même beaucoup de jeux dans son escarcelle à speedrunner, n'est-ce pas? Donc, notamment Zelda, The Legend of Zelda sur NES, dont on a vu hein, sa très belle performance lors du marathon. Mais il nous expliquait que Darkwing Duck c'est un autre speedrunner qui était présent lors du marathon aussi, d'ailleurs, me semble-t-il, a priori soumis un nouveau run récemment. Et d'ailleurs, Breakdown l'a vu, il paraît que c'est n'importe quoi. Donc voilà, hein, ça sera un nouveau speedrun à commenter, ça tombe bien. Et aussi, il nous a parlé d'un jeu SNES Brandish que je ne connaissais absolument pas. Donc n'hésitez pas à vous renseigner. Donc il est sur ce run-là aussi. Earthworm Jim sur Mega Drive aussi. Il y touche un peu. Donc sûrement lors de ces sessions sur le Twitch, vous verrez ça si vous le voulez. Et Battle of Olympus sur NES, hein, pour ceux qui ne connaissent pas ce jeu, c'est un des jeux d'action scrolling vertical, horizontal plutôt, justement je faisais le rapprochement un peu avec des jeux du style Zelda 2 et Xanadu où ça se rapproche un peu à un degré. Mais donc voilà, même s'il travaille sur des runs, il y a évidemment le problème du temps, le travail, vu que ça prend, comme il a dit précédemment, énormément de temps pour speedrunner un jeu. Et on parlait également par rapport à la belle performance au marathon. C'est vrai qu'au marathon, évidemment, on fait un run très sympathique à voir, très spectaculaire, mais qui reste quand même plus safe évidemment. On a le droit aux erreurs et on va pas tenter des techniques ultra agressives comme un vrai speedrun. Et concernant son rôle d'updater ou de modérateur, il disait que ça lui prend un peu de temps, mais bon, récemment beaucoup moins finalement, vu que ça fait un certain moment qu'il n'y a pas eu de nouveaux runs soumis sur le site, tout simplement. Voilà. Ok, we're good. So let's see. Next up, what do we have here? Oh, so yeah, about the marathons right now. So, how did the idea of doing the marathon start? Who came up with it? And how do you guys organize yourselves for the hardware and general expenses?
let's see. Well, marathons got started on SDA kind of as a response to there's another marathon group, the Speed Gamers, and it was basically a case that I don't know, people on SDA, like the way the speed gamers do their marathons, it's the gaming's more of a backdrop to just them doing stuff on camera, and their fan base likes it. Thought it would be better if the games were more on display. So
Hmm.
basically got together and we were just like, we can do our own marathon, and well, that's how kind of classic games got done quick got started. Um, and put it together. We had what about 20 odd people for that one. It was supposed to be done at Magfest 8, but due to internet
Oh,
complications at the
Magfest, yeah.
hotel, we had to move it to Mike's basement, which ultimately I think was a good thing for SDA marathons. But um, so that's basically how it got rolling. We had to figure out a lot in about a span of 4 months, like contacting charities and figuring out all the logistics of it, scheduling. Oh, scheduling, but I don't know. That worked out pretty well, and it's just kind of been snowballing from there. I mean, we waited a year to do the next one. The first Awesome Games done quick. Since then, we did two others in the last year. There was Japan Relief done quick, which was an online
Hmm.
streaming event, and that was put together in the span of 2 weeks by a member, Rom Scout. And
Oh,
he was
Ramscow, yeah.
the main driving factor behind that one. And when he said he wanted to do it in 2 weeks, I didn't think it could be done, but he pulled it off somehow. So big ups to Rom Scout. And then there was Summer Games Done Quick last year.
Yeah, we commented that one actually, but it was much more private, let's say, but than our coverage of this marathon. But yeah, Summer Games Done Quick was awesome as well.
Yeah, it was a good marathon. That was put together largely by Essentia.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
held at
at
her.
a place, right?
It was at her house, yes.
Mm.
So, but in terms of like organizational logistics, like Mike did the schedule for that one, and some other people pitched in from afar. But she was the one who put together like the whole like making sure that people had places to stay and internet access and all that good stuff. So that was yeah, it's just kind of cool to see how the community's like just embraced the marathons and how it's been moving. It's kind of shifted the focus of SDA just a little bit, but I think it's good for the site in the long run. It
Yeah.
makes it seem more accessible, which I think is a good thing. And with the last Awesome Games Done Quick, we had 80 people on hand and went through over 100 games. It's really showing no signs of slowing down, which is a pretty
Yeah.
cool thing.
Pretty crazy
So
effort, really.
yeah, and really just for equipment's pretty kind of on the simple side. Basically, everything's just it's, people bring their own equipment pretty
Yeah.
much. It's like there's not a whole lot that needs purchased. Like we had to buy a lot of like extension cords and like UPSs and things like that.
Mm.
But in terms of like capture devices and the consoles and controllers and games and like streaming hardware, like that's just stuff that people had and were willing to provide for the marathon. So
Pretty cool. And so I guess everyone flies in on their own account. I mean,
yeah, people take care of their own travel costs and like let's see, for the both the Awesome Games Done Quick, like we had a rooming cost for the place that we were staying, very reasonable though. It was like even a little over $200 for a week's stay.
yeah,
That's not
that's
bad at
okay.
all. So
That's nice. Okay, perfect. I think I'm ready to get this train wreck rolling.
all
So,
right.
ok, alors donc pour les marathons, comment c'est né, etc. Et donc voilà, il y avait d'abord les Speed Gamers qui avaient sur leur propre site qui avait organisé une event également, mais qui était plus centré voilà sur les personnes en eux-mêmes. On montrait pas vraiment le jeu en lui-même. Et là, voilà, les gens, le staff du SDA et les speedrunners du SDA se sont dit, mais vas-y, on peut faire la même chose, nous pouvons faire pareil. Et ça serait mieux si on voyait plus les jeux mis en avant. Et donc c'est là que vint le premier Awesome Games Done Quick s'est organisé avec 20 personnes à la baguette, qui devait se passer à la base au McFest 8, en sachant que McFest, moi j'avais assisté à McFest 4 me semble-t-il. Donc voilà, qui est une convention, c'est la Mid-Atlantic Gaming Festival, hein, qui se passe, enfin maintenant ça a peut-être bougé, moi à l'époque ça se passait en Virginie du Sud, où il y a beaucoup de concerts de jeux vidéo, etc., des petites events, des petits jeux. Mais finalement, à cause un problème de logement tout simplement, le premier Awesome Games Done Quick a migré vers le sous-sol de Mike Uyama, hein, tout simplement le basement. Donc Mike Uyama qui est évidemment l'éditeur en chef, hein, plus ou moins le proprio du site. Et donc voilà, ça a pris une préparation de 4 mois, ne serait-ce que pour contacter voilà, les diverses organisations caritatives pour voir avec laquelle le marathon allait s'allier, pour organiser la logistique, le planning, etc., etc. Et à partir de là, donc il y a eu cet effet boule de neige, justement, où les gens en ont demandé plus. Et d'ailleurs, Breakdown est très content de voir l'amour et l'attention qu'ont provoqué ces divers marathons. Donc voilà, on a eu ensuite un an avant la Awesome Games Done Quick d'après. Et ensuite, on a eu deux events qui se sont organisés très rapidement les unes après l'autre. C'était le Japan Relief, le marathon du Japan Relief déjà pour évidemment par rapport au tsunami au Japon. Que Rom Scout, hein, Rom Scout, on l'avait vu à la fin du marathon. C'est si je ne dis pas de bêtises, le runner aux cheveux longs qui était très ému à la fin du run et qui donc avait organisé tout cela en 2 semaines. Puis on a eu le Summer Games Done Quick qui s'était organisé par Essentia, la speedrunneuse, vous le savez, vous la connaissez, qui donc l'avait organisé chez elle. Donc c'était organisé chez elle. On l'avait commenté sur eLive, il y avait moins de monde sur eLive à l'époque, mais on l'avait totalement fait. Et Mike Uyama était quand même présent pour la logistique et l'organisation. Donc voilà, et pour pour ce qui est des dépenses diverses en hardware et compagnie, les gens amènent leur matos, hein, vu que tous les speedrunners ont leur matériel déjà, que ce soit les cartes de capture, les consoles, les manettes, les télés, tout ça. Ensuite, il y a juste voilà, des petits frais supplémentaires pour quelques câbles divers et variés. Et, euh, évidemment, ensuite, pour ce qui est les frais de trajet pour voyager, pour prendre l'avion, etc., ce sont les speedrunners qui prennent ça à leur compte. Donc voilà. Yep, I think I've done it just fine, really. I'm actually
All right.
surprised. Maybe that's the beer acting up. Just just being at ease with the English language right now. Just fantastic. So, next up, which is the sixth question. So yeah, will the success of this marathon launch new additional events? So yeah, I guess there will be new awesome games done quick and such. But yeah, I've heard rumors on the IRC chat. So I don't remember if it was the SDA one or the SDA marathon one that there could be a European event being planned. So maybe you could tell us if that's true or false. I don't know.
There's been talk of a European marathon. Basically, right now there's definitely an interest level for it, but no one's really taken the reins and solidly made an organizational plan for it. There was talk of it maybe happening this year, but it's looking all the more likely that basically there's more possibility of just an SDA meetup and
Mm.
just work it out from there and possibly do a marathon in years to come. Don't want to count it out just yet. It could still possibly come together. But it's still kind of up in the air right now. But definitely the possibility for a European event exists at some point down the line.
Okay. Yeah, that's a simple one for me. No. So, yeah, donc, bon, alors pour un event européen, donc évidemment, on aura la suite hein, des événements, mais pour donc un event européen, ce serait plus, pour l'instant, un mythe qu'autre chose. C'est-à-dire, il y a des gens qui en ont énormément parlé, ça sauce beaucoup de monde, mais personne n'a vraiment, évidemment, comment dire, pris le pas pour l'organisation. Hein. L'organisation d'un événement tel que celui-ci, c'est hyper vénère. Donc pour l'instant, ça commencerait peut-être plus en tant qu'un regroupement de joueurs. Voilà, tout simplement un regroupement. On se voit, on s'amuse, on discute, on fait des runs de jeux au pif. Et donc peut-être plus tard, justement, en partant de ce regroupement, il y aura, qui sait, un marathon européen qui se mettra en place, en sachant qu'il y a une petite chance quand même que ça s'organise vite. Mais pour l'instant, de l'avis de Chip, c'est juste pour l'instant pour parler de la parlotte. Donc voilà. Okay, so we'll move on with the two last from me, and then we'll leave the chat. We'll let the chat do its job with the Q&A. And
All right then.
so next up, question 7. So yeah, we've talked about what was going on at the SDA forums before, and how could one start speedrunning a game. But so yeah, that question is. Say we'd like to launch a French community around all things speedrun and speedrunning. What would your advice for us be to make it efficiently and just nicely?
Well, let's see. Advice. Well, on SDA itself, actually, we do have SDA is predominantly an English-speaking site, but we do have an other languages section.
Oh, right.
And definitely, if a bunch of like-minded people got together on there, you could sort of centralize a French speedrunning community on
Mm.
SDA. If you wanted to kind of launch your own thing, I'd like to think we have a fairly effective model. I'm not saying it's the best possible way to do things, but it's been working for years now. So, yeah, it's just um, just encourage discussion and encourage improvement. Definitely, be open to criticism about like your own gameplay, and if someone's telling you this can be done like this and this and this, or you can be willing to accept that criticism and try it out. Like maybe they're right, maybe they're not, but give them the benefit of the doubt. And for just centralizing a community, keep it open. Elitism is something that can creep in this kind of gaming community, and it's something you don't really want to promote. Definitely, you don't want to promote yourself as the
Yeah.
best of the best. You're just trying to put out good videos, basically. Like, it should always just be about a good video at the end of the day, not like having the record. but just producing good gameplay. That's the best advice I can give if you're gonna focus on ideals. So.
Yeah. Because we have a few French speedrunners already who do their own stuff on Twitch and such. But actually, yeah, I was with a few people who are trying to motivate even newcomers just to do things and have fun. Maybe, launch a weekly contest on eLive. Maybe even people could use emulators for the first run, since not all people have hardware, but just do a funny challenge. I don't know, do that Zelda game with just 3 hearts, such stuff like that. So basically launch it at a beginner level. But if you tell me that there's a French section possible already in place on SDA, so yeah, that's great news. Actually, yeah, I could encourage people to register there, and that's cool.
Indeed. And also, if you're talking about like challenges and stuff like that, another site I should shout out is speedrunslive.com.
Oh
They're a
yeah.
racing community that kind of offshot from SDA a little bit, and it's really a great way to get into running games. Is by doing the races, and it's just like because it's always fun to win a race. So you do your race and you get smoked the first time. It's just like, oh, what could I have done better? And it'll get you practicing. You get you learning the tricks, and like people stream their race attempts and things like that, so you can see what other people are doing, and it's just really it's a fun way to get better at a game. And definitely for someone starting out, it's a good place to start on a game that has a racing community. Definitely, it's just enter a few races and see what people are doing and see how you stack up.
Aye. So yeah, that's speedrunslive.com. So I'm just gonna add the link on the podcast somewhere. Let's see, right here in yellow. Let's use the live tools for once. um, well, I just paste the URL again. So there we go at the top right. Alors oui, donc pour ce qui est donc de la communauté française, donc il semblerait qu'il y ait évidemment déjà une localisation sur les forums de la SDA, quelques Français qui se sont motivés pour faire une section française. Donc il est possible de s'inscrire sur le site de la speeddemoisarchive.com et de chatter avec d'autres Français. Et et si jamais, par contre, on veut quand même lancer un site alternatif, donc voilà, hein, Chip nous dit que prendre plus ou moins le même modèle que la SDA serait une bonne idée. C'est-à-dire, voilà, hein, tout simplement échanger des infos, accepter les critiques et surtout, voilà, présenter, bien catégoriser les jeux et éviter l'élitisme, évidemment, qu'on retrouve souvent dans les communautés de jeux vidéo et qui mène en général à des choses assez néfastes, évidemment. Voilà, le but au final, c'est d'avoir une belle vidéo à la fin, de s'amuser à la faire et de partager des informations avec tout le monde. Et donc après, je lui soumettais l'idée, voilà, justement au niveau français, de commencer avec justement un niveau plus débutant, vu qu'on a déjà des speedrunners efficaces au niveau français. Mais pour faire, voilà, pour commencer au niveau débutant, donc comme je disais, organiser des events, genre des petits concours chaque semaine, faire des runs sur Zelda, sur Emu, pour faire, voilà, en 3 cœurs, des choses de ce genre. Et donc voilà, il nous a parlé donc de ce site, speedrunslive.com, qui est ici, hein, en haut à droite, je bouge le truc, en haut à droite du cast. Donc speedrunslive.com, donc justement qui est génial pour faire ce type de race, donc voilà, ce type de course au temps, où en gros, bah voilà, il y a des events qui s'organisent et donc vous pouvez vous mettre sur une compétition. Alors il y a de grandes chances que vous fassiez détruire au début, mais c'est marrant parce que justement par rapport aux autres runs, vous pourrez voir ce que vous auriez pu améliorer, ce que vous auriez pu faire, et donc c'est beaucoup d'encouragement pour améliorer les runs et s'amuser surtout tout en le faisant. Donc voilà pour ceci. Donc, okay, so we can move on to the last question from me. It's actually taking a
Okay.
bit more time than expected, so I hope if you have to run at some point, just tell me.
I'm good for now, certainly.
Okay. So, oh yeah, that should be fast. So, yeah, maybe do you have personally some particular things to announce, or maybe SDA related stuff, things to come up in the future?
Let's see. Well, we did just recently lock in the dates for Summer Games Done Quick 2. That's not the official name. I'm not sure what it's going to be called
No,
exactly, but that's going to be this coming Memorial Day weekend. I forget the actual calendar dates right off the top of my head, but I'm sure
couldn't say
somebody in the
either, but
behind
yeah.
Yeah, well, Memorial Day, it's a pretty static date and time, but yeah, it will be this Memorial Day
Mais bien.
weekend. Going to be longer than last year's too. Probably going to be at least 4, if not 5 days.
Wow, okay.
Um,
Nice.
yeah, I'm certainly going to be trying to make it up to that myself, but that's kind of up in the air for me at this point. And really, other than that, I don't know. I will say there's nothing really solid set yet, but some changes might be coming to SDA in the not too distant future. Um,
Mhm.
so I don't want to say too much more than that because the details are still very fuzzy at this point. But some you might be noticing some changes around the site in the not too distant future.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it nice and vague and mysterious so people can wonder what's going on.
No problem. Okay, so anything else or good?
That'll about do it
Good for
for
now.
site news, certainly.
Okay. Ok, ok. Donc alors pour la, donc au niveau de la SDA, donc ce qui va venir c'est le Summer Games Done Quick 2. Alors ce n'est pas encore le nom définitif, mais il aura lieu donc pendant le week-end du Memorial Day, hein, n'est-ce pas, aux États-Unis. Donc j'ai pas la date en tête, mais bon voilà, il y a un week-end. Donc pendant l'été, ce week-end. Alors je me souviens que l'année dernière, ça s'était passé au milieu août, hein, si je dis pas de bêtises. Et il durera plus longtemps. Il durera cette fois-ci 4-5 jours. Euh, le 1er mai, Poulpe, ça serait bizarre pour un Summer Games Done Quick, mais hey, Chip, what month is the Memorial Day?
That's May.
W-
It's
That's
late May. I
May,
think
so
it's
okay.
24th was when we were starting.
Yeah,
It's the 21st to the 24th. My memory escapes me.
end of May. Okay, so but the last Summer Games Done Quick, wasn't it later than that?
Yeah, it was in late July, early August, I believe. So
Yeah, I think it was August. Okay.
it got bumped up
So
this
yeah,
year. So it's technically late spring games done quick, but
yeah, because I couldn't place Memorial Day, and Poop in the chat was saying for May, and was kind of surprising for me. So okay, okay. Euh, donc oui, donc le week-end du Memorial Day, donc plutôt fin mai semble-t-il, aux alentours du 20-24. Et donc il y aura 4-5 jours cette fois-ci. Donc Chip lui-même, Breakdown, n'est pas sûr de pouvoir y être. Rien de solide encore, il va essayer de se libérer pour y être. C'est un peu chaud niveau temps. Et sinon, il nous dit qu'il y aura un grand changement à venir avec pas de date fixe sur la SDA, sur la Speed Demos Archive, dans un futur proche, mais il ne peut pas trop en parler pour le moment. Voilà, il reste mystérieux pour nous faire languir d'impatience. Alors bon, peut-être un redesign total du site. Hein. Qui le sait, nous ne le saurons pas ce soir, mais voilà, du gros teasing, bien évidemment. Et donc, on va passer aux questions du chat. So it's time for the Q&A. Alors allez-y le chat, allez-y en français, en anglais, mettez Mister MV devant et puis voilà, hein, on va prendre vos questions.
let's see what they got for me.
Uh, we got one question from Cheshire Fresh asking, how did you guys, so I don't know, I guess a run has been done recently, how do you record the 3DS footage?
3DS footage. I'm not sure we've had a 3DS submission yet. And
Mm,
that's not something I'm sure has been addressed, honestly. At least in terms of recording in full 3D. Like I know DS recording has come a long ways. Actually, it's getting to the point where we can almost direct capture it. But the setups for it have definitely advanced to the point where you can actually get a pretty good looking DS video. As for the 3DS, I'm honestly not sure. I'm definitely not the right person to ask that question. But
no,
you can ask about it on our forums and tech support and see if any innovating people out there have the answer for you.
Well, I guess for the 2D footage, would be pretty much the same as the Nintendo DS, right?
Right, but I'm assuming they're meaningful 3D, and I don't have the answer for that,
Okay,
certainly.
no problem. So, oui, alors donc pour la 3DS, de l'avis, enfin de mémoire de Breakdown, ils n'ont pas encore eu de run 3DS. Hein, donc ils nous expliquaient par rapport, enfin du moins pour avoir du footage, de la capture vidéo 3D. Mais pour ce qui est de la DS, maintenant, voilà, il y a beaucoup d'outils et de hardware qui est sorti maintenant pour avoir une vidéo presque arcade perfect de la DS de très très bonne qualité. Il dit, bon, bah, il en est pas sûr personnellement, mais vous pouvez demander au service technique au forum technique de la SDA, justement de l'aide par rapport à ça. Par rapport à ça, alors je vais essayer de les faire dans l'ordre, même si c'est un gros bordel. So we got a question from Dace, was asking what was your personal hardest game to speedrun, your hardest speedrun?
Hardest speed run that I've personally attempted, well, for ones that I've done for the site, Zelda 2, hands down. Not the most speedrunning friendly game. In terms of just games in general, full game Super Meat Boy is pretty difficult to get an actual like really decent run for. I've focused more on individual levels than full game runs, even though I did the full game for the marathon.
Mm.
But definitely that marathon run would not be submittable. But some of the individual level tactics are very, very difficult, require many, many attempts. So I'd say definitely in recent memory, got to give it to Super Meat Boy.
Alright. Donc oui, alors donc il nous dit voilà pour les runs pour ces runs qui ont été soumis à l'époque à la Speed Demos Archive, c'est sans aucun doute Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, qui était donc assez dur à runner et qui n'est pas très amical au niveau du speedrunning, évidemment un jeu très punitif, Zelda 2. Et sinon plus récemment, bah, évidemment Super Meat Boy, où il parle justement de son run du marathon, le run qui nous a tous impressionnés, mais il nous dit justement que le run en lui-même ne pourrait pas être soumis tel quel à la SDA, et que pour Super Meat Boy, il faut surtout s'attaquer à des niveaux individuels, qu'il y a des niveaux extrêmement difficiles qui demandent des tactiques particulières. Donc voilà, c'est beaucoup d'entraînement sur des entraînements lobos sur des levels, des niveaux individuels, et pour réussir à faire un run assez, comment dire, euh, solide. Alors, we we got a question from MK, who is actually the CEO of eLive.pro. So is asking you, where are you from? You can come to our powerhouse if you are in the Bay Area.
Not in the Bay Area, certainly. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Um, there's multiple Bay Areas, so if you're talking Chesapeake Bay Area, I'm kind of close to that, but I imagine you're more San
No, I
Francisco.
think I think they yeah they're in in the Valley, Silicon Valley, I think,
All right, yeah. So
around
yeah,
that
that'd be
part.
about a 3,000-mile commute for me. But if I'm ever in the area,
Might
though, I'll hit you guys up certainly.
well, might be hard, yeah, for you to come by. So, donc, oui, Chip qui vit en Pennsylvanie, donc très très loin de la powerhouse d'eLive et de MK, bien entendu. Alors, j'ai vu Canon qui a mis Breakdown directement. So, Canon has harder games you find really too hard. Do you have example of games that are impossible to speedrun, and why?
Games that are impossible to speedrun? Well, really, in terms of difficulty, I don't want to say there's any such thing as a game that's impossible to speedrun. There are certain types of games that don't lend themselves well to speedrunning. Like most shmups, like shoot 'em ups, like those don't really lend themselves too well. Or like your average light gun game, where it's just basically
Yeah,
auto scrolling.
it's
Um,
all about scoring in those games, right?
yeah, pretty much. That's definitely the more admirable goal, certainly.
Mm.
And things like like rhythm games and stuff like that, just they don't lend themselves to speed running. Um,
Mm.
but in terms of actual difficulty, like I wouldn't say there's any game out there that's too hard to do a speed run of. I mean, we have a run of I Want to Be the Guy, for
Yeah, right. I
so and
podcasted that one. It's crazy.
yeah, and that's where most people go when they think really really hard games. I mean, it's been done. So it's just you got the determination to keep with it. You can get a speed run of just about anything.
Mm, mm, mm. Donc voilà, bah, donc non, non, Breakdown qui ne pense pas qu'il y ait de jeux vraiment trop durs pour être speedrunné. Alors évidemment, il y a les exceptions de tout ce qui est voilà, les shmups, les shoot 'em up, ou bien les jeux au pistolet, au light gun, les jeux de rythme, où évidemment là, ce qui est plus intéressant comme performance, c'est de faire du scoring. Et évidemment, au niveau speedrun, ça n'a pas un grand sens, grand intérêt. Enfin, c'est possible d'en faire un, mais voilà, c'est juste des différences de quelques secondes. Et sinon, il dit voilà, au niveau de l'impossibilité de faire un jeu, pas vraiment. Et il parlait justement d'un run que j'avais commenté, qui est celui de I Wanna Be the Guy, qui est un jeu, oula, qui est un jeu considéré excessivement dur de base, voire impossible. Et finalement, même celui-ci a été couché par un speedrunner, n'est-ce pas? Donc, ce n'est pas grave. Oh yeah, I know the answer to that one, but I'll ask it anyway. So Galactica is asking. your the pearlers that were available on the marathon were really really beautiful, and he or she is asking who was doing them basically.
Let's see, that was most of those came from SEA member Mecha Richter.
Mm.
Let's see, you can actually, I believe he's accepting commissions.
On this
It was,
Gmail, I think, right? Or no?
I think it was his Gmail. It's Mecha is Fly, I believe was the address at Gmail. I think it was his Gmail address.
I'm
I'm not
looking.
sure if
I'm
he's.
googling right now, trying to see if I see something.
Oh, but I see
Yeah,
Mike in the chat. He's digging for it. So
I see Mecha's Fly for pearlers. If you're interested, either you can email me on Mecha's Flies. Maybe, yeah. Is his name on Deviant Heart Sacred Skull Kid?
So I do believe he does have a DeviantArt account. Yes.
Yeah, looks like it.
Again, that's something I have the link handy for. Unfortunately, I'm sure he'd love the shout out here, but definitely excellent work from Mecha Richter. He played some fantastic furlers. There were some great prizes, definitely.
Okay. Well, I just put the email address, even though I can do a direct link to an email, I think. But yeah. Alors donc oui, c'est mes caractères qui s'occupaient de la plupart des pearlers disponibles. C'est d'ailleurs pareil pour les peluches, hein, c'était une des filles du marathon. Donc voilà, et semblerait-il qu'ils prennent des commissions à son email, à mes caractères, et mes casefly sur gmail.com. Et je crois que j'ai trouvé son DeviantArt, je suis pas sûr. I think that's his DeviantArt, but I'm putting the email anyway on top of it. So, so voilà, makecasefly@gmail.com. Si vous voulez des pearlers trop stylés, en sachant qu'on a aussi des Français, hein, même sur eLive qui le font, je crois, je pense notamment à Big Boss FF. Donc voilà, si jamais vous avez des pearlers et que vous voulez les faire localement en France, mais sinon, voilà, makecasefly prendra vos commandes et je sais pas comment ça se passe au niveau du fret de port. Okay, let's see. We got Logic, Logic asking the autosave on recent games. Is the autosave feature on the recent games a break for a run to be validated, accepted on the SDA?
Auto saving, it makes it harder to segment a run, certainly, like do the run in parts. Well, most games do have the feature to turn auto saving off, so if you want to avoid it like that, well, you can do that. Other than that, though, it doesn't hurt single segment running in the slightest. It's just, in a single segment run, you won't be making use of any of those auto saves ideally.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not a make or break feature, certainly. It's just something. It might limit what kind of run you can do, but it doesn't make a game unrunnable necessarily.
D'accord, ok. Oui, donc l'autosave, bon, qui certes comment dire, casse l'optimisation, enfin l'idée de faire un single segment, vu que ça rentre dans une sauvegarde. Mais dans la plupart des jeux, comme il le dit, donc comment dire, ne pas utiliser cette feature, hein, cette option, et au pire, ça transforme votre run, voilà, en segmenté. Disons que ce n'est pas une option, une feature qui peut tout simplement défoncer un run, l'annuler. We got a question in English, but I take it from it was to you from Adamak asking Adam AK rather asking, can we expect to see a follow-up to Awful Games Done Quick during the next Summer Games Done Quick event?
During summer games, I'm not 100% positive. I'm pretty sure Awful Games Done Quick will be making a return, definitely at some point down the line. You might see Brandish during it. We'll see if we can sneak that onto the schedule. See if I can con Mike into putting it on the schedule anyway. Um, as for summer games specifically, it's a possibility. There's not a whole lot definite in terms of scheduling for summer games yet, but we'll see. It was definitely a crowd pleaser last time around and a lot of fun. So it's got a definite chance, I would say.
All right. Donc oui, donc c'est prévu pour sûr lors du prochain Awesome Games Done Quick. Pour ce qui est de Summer Games Done Quick, enfin la liste des jeux n'a pas encore été décidée. Donc voilà, bon peut-être. D'ailleurs en parlant des Awful Games Done Quick, voilà, Chip parlait encore de son jeu là, son jeu du mal qui est Brandish. Il va essayer d'arnaquer Mike Uyama pour qu'il y soit. Et donc voilà, peut-être bien vu que les Awful Games Done Quick ont beaucoup plu aux gens lors du dernier marathon. Donc ce n'est pas impossible. Uh, Donc Novice Zelkis, il faudra que tu me remettes ta question. T'as invité Breakdown à un cast là, c'est ça? We know. So Mishanran is asking, but I think you've answered that earlier already. Is asking, is Chip's work for the SDA a side job, or does he work for them for a living?
It's a side job. It's basically it's volunteer really. So, but yeah, no, I'm not getting rich
Ouais.
off of SDA. So.
Donc voilà, oui, non, c'est du volontariat, évidemment. Chip a un vrai boulot à côté, donc et voilà, il aime le site, il aime la communauté, donc voilà, c'est exclusivement du volontariat. We got a question from Intello. Ouais, Intello, on a répondu, ouais, c'était à peu près, c'était une vingtaine de personnes sur le premier Awesome Games Done Quick, et sur le dernier, celui qu'on a vu, c'était à peu près 80 personnes. Il a répondu plus tôt. Avant. We got a question from Bear Harmy asking, is there a time limit beyond which you refuse to speedrun the game? For example, FFX2 and it's 100 plus hours.
Um, there's not really a hard limit for how long a speed run can be. As long as it's good is really the big classification. Actually, we have a run of 10-2 on the site, and it comes in at about 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. It's not that long at all. If it meant 12, someone was routing out 12, and it was going to clock in a little over 10, I think, something like that.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, no, there are games that definitely have would take forever and a day to complete, but as long as forever and a day is the speed run and the actual casual play is 4 forevers in a week or something like that, then it's a case of if it's good, we'll put it up. Don't want to discourage anybody. It's like, oh, this game's too long. And so if you can make it shorter, then you're speed running it, and if it's good, then we'll host it.
Alright. Donc oui, pour ce qui est d'une limite de temps, il n'y a pas de limite de temps hard, donc une limite de temps fixe dure qui a été définie pour la longueur des speedruns. Et d'ailleurs, il y a un run de Final Fantasy X-2 sur le site, donc un low pourcent évidemment, low percent, qui fait à peu près 3-4 heures. Ensuite, il nous parlait aussi justement de quelqu'un qui était en train de speedrunner Final Fantasy XII et qui allait faire environ un peu plus d'une dizaine d'heures. Il disait qu'en gros, si du moment que le jeu, enfin, il y a des jeux certes qui prendraient voilà, l'éternité pour les faire, mais tant que le run est vraiment speedrunné et qu'il n'y a pas du casual gameplay à côté, si le run est bon, le jeu est correct, il sera hosté sur la Speed Demos Archive. Ça ne pose pas de problème. Alors, we got a question from Takamura. So, a lot of runs on the marathon, I guess, finished well early in advance compared to the schedule. How many bonus games had you have planned to assure that the marathon was going to go on whatever happened if all games were widely raped?
Um, well, we actually going in, we had no bonus games planned, absolutely none. Because in years past, I mean, the first Awesome Games Done Quick, we ended up about 14 hours behind schedule when it was all said and done, something like that. And basically, with the estimates being as conservative as they were this year, that was basically figuring we could combat that, get back chunks of time that we lost. But it just worked out. The schedule was done really, really, really well this year, and being able to add, 3 or 4 5 different games. I forget exactly how many it was to the schedule. It was just a case of there were people on hand who were really good at those games and were like, hey, I could do this for the stream if we have time. And well, we had the time, so we put them in there. And it was a nice little bonus for everybody. So that worked out fantastically.
Yeah.
Hats off to Mike for the schedule this year. Schedule, schedule, schedule!
Yeah, it was actually really clean this year. And yeah, I was happy to see Demon's Crest speedrun as well. One of my favorites.
Yeah, that was cool in DKC2, Sonic Spinball.
Yeah.
Second loop of Pole's Big Adventure.
Right. Donc oui, donc bon bah le planning du marathon avait été fait de manière assez safe, assez large justement vu que ça tenait au cœur de Mike Uyama. Et donc, oui, il y avait des jeux de prévus. Donc, bah, on a vu justement 4, 5, 6 jeux rajoutés justement au marathon dès qu'il y avait le temps. Et au pire, tout était possible vu que tout simplement, voilà, il y avait une base de speedrunners assez furieux sur place. Donc, ils avaient ramené leur jeu et au besoin, donc évidemment, ils pouvaient sortir leur jeu, etc. Et donc, bah, encore une fois, bravo au marathon 2012 qui s'est extrêmement bien passé au niveau du temps. On a même eu le temps d'avoir des jeux bonus. Um, I don't know if it's just a general question about the marathon. Deda is asking, how do they choose which game they're speedrunning? Do they first get information about the glitching possibilities, or do they just play a game that they love until they find the cracks in it?
I'm gonna take that as just general speedrunning
Yeah.
question. I think it varies from person to person. Like some people just like latch onto a game that nobody else is really working on that they've grew up with or just generally enjoy and just start looking for stuff. And sometimes they find some crazy game breaking glitch and it works out well. And other times it's just looks like a clean normal playthrough. And some people are drawn to the glitches. Like I know just probably one of the bigger examples would be Ocarina
Oh
of
yeah, that was
Time.
crazy.
Um, I mean that game it's been broken to hell, and people just like to do the crazy stuff that's possible to do, and it's just some people take that and apply it to
Yeah,
speed running. So
I added in the playlist, so I just put it.
that works.
Ok, donc oui, bon bah voilà, c'est comme il le disait, c'est une question de speedrunning en plus général. Donc voilà, ça dépend des gens. Il y a des gens qui vont s'attacher à leur jeu du cœur, et d'autres évidemment qui vont plus s'intéresser à prendre un jeu qui n'a pas encore été speedrunné et faire un run plus comment dire, plus propre du début à la fin, juste pour établir le record. Et ensuite, voilà, on a les avaleurs de glitch. Et donc on prenait évidemment comme exemple un jeu comme Ocarina of Time qui en a beaucoup. Et donc je vais avancer la vidéo, évidemment, des runs tels que Ocarina of Time de Cosmo, me semble-t-il, qui était absolument furieux. Donc voilà. We got a question from. Oh, let's see. We got a question. We got a question from Logic. It's more personal. How did you? How could I say that? How did you manage? How did you stomach your death on the DMC run?
I was hoping for a deathless run certainly, but if you're gonna die anywhere, it might as well be against Mundus 2. Um, it's a pretty random fight. I would have really loved to get it deathless, but it is what it is. It's one shot live deal. Honestly, compared to how it went during the first Awesome Games Done Quick, I'm ecstatic with how that run went. Really. So,
Yeah, it was a great run. No problem with.
well, thank you.
Yeah, I was at the mic with the Logic when you were doing it. So, oui, donc alors oui, c'est mort. Bah, il aurait voulu faire un run sans mort sur DMC, mais finalement il a perdu sur Medas 2, je crois. J'ai pas bien entendu le nom du boss, hein, je connais mal le jeu. Mais en gros, qui est une des batailles les plus random du jeu. Donc, même s'il n'a pas eu son run sans mort, il est quand même très content par rapport justement au premier run qu'il avait fait lors du premier Awesome Games Done Quick. Et donc, ouais, non, très content de ce run en comparaison avec le premier. Let's see. We got a question from Martha asking, how do you speedrun a game such as a racing game or fighting game?
Same way you speedrun any other game, you try to get to the end as quickly as you can.
Mm.
Um, but basically, for racing games, it's all about like just knowing the basic mechanics of the game, like what's the fastest way to take corners and things like that, and if there's like items, like the appropriate places to use them and things like that. For fighting games, it's usually more about AI tendencies, just if you can do this one string of moves that the AI is never going to block, well, then you abuse that string of moves.
Yeah.
So, personally, fighting games definitely for speed running is not really my cup of tea, but some people seem to enjoy it, and we have a number of them on the
Yeah,
site.
we
So,
asked for a few, but we have a huge versus community right here, and we're broadcasting tournaments often too. And it's true that there's no real. It's not as static as other games to speedrun fighting games. I mean. Ok, donc oui, ben voilà une question générale. Donc bah oui, les jeux de course, c'est juste évidemment voilà connaître juste tous les abus, évidemment, tous les virages, les boosters, les objets et les trucs de course, même si ce ne sont pas des speedruns très passionnants. Et au niveau des jeux de combat, justement, où Breakdown trouve que le speedrunning n'est pas hyper intéressant, bon, voilà, c'est juste trouver, évidemment, la succession de coups spéciaux que l'intelligence artificielle ne pensera jamais à bloquer, hein. Les lariats de Zangief, tout ça, quoi, on connaît l'arnaque. Okay, we'll take a few more. You just tell me when you want to go on. No, it's no problem.
I'm fine
I
for
see
now,
there are a few
certainly.
more, so. Okay. So we got a question again from Shasha Fresh asking, how many hours do you think you have put in to prepare Super Meat Boy?
Let's see. Well, my Steam statistics say I've played the game for a little over 500 hours. Um,
Wow.
so, um, I don't know. It's a game I latched onto, starting like last February, something like that. I was hooked right away, and I just played the hell out of it. And for the actual marathon run itself, probably at least a good 100 hours of practice from when I like announced I was going to do it to when the actual game happened.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it definitely took some doing. It's not a game to be taken lightly, but I don't know, had a good time doing it, so I view it as time well spent.
D'accord, donc voilà, donc oui, vous l'avez entendu, donc pour Super Meat Boy, ces statistiques de Steam indiquent qu'il a joué plus de 500 heures déjà, et donc voilà, d'abord en mode casual pour découvrir le jeu, puis assez vite pour le speedrunner, et il nous explique qu'avant le run du marathon, il a fait une session plus ou moins, enfin à partir du moment où il savait qu'il allait faire ce jeu, au moment où il l'a su, entre le moment où il l'a su et le moment où il l'a fait sur le marathon, voilà, il y a encore une centaine d'heures qui sont passées dans un run de ce type. Oh, that's a question. We've talked about this before the actual cast. So Deadeye again is asking, do you still play games without looking for a speedrun in them, or is it like a sickness that you have to speedrun every game you play?
Um, I guess to borrow the term, yeah, it is kind of like a sickness. I've called speedrunning a disease before, actually, because it really does affect the way you play games pretty much entirely. It's like I have a hard time playing games casually these days, like at least in the way that I used to before I got into speedrunning. Like just for instance, like since the marathon, the two games I've played were Super Monkey Ball and
Oh,
VVVVVVV or V6 or however you're
V V V
supposed to
V V
pronounce it.
V. Yeah.
VVV, yeah. So, but yeah, Super Monkey Ball was going for crazy IL strats and trying to like it's like oh I can get through this course deathless and da 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 try to get to the end as quickly as I could and then like I played through the main game of VVVV and after that I latched onto the time trials for a while trying for very fast V ranks. I mean it's a hard switch to turn off. It really
Mm.
is. So
All right.
but every once in a while it's fun just to like kick back and play a game. But I have to consciously tell myself it's just like no, you're just playing. You're just playing. Don't need to go fast. Just have fun. So it's definitely a conscious effort though.
Ok. Donc oui, oui, en effet, bah, le terme qui a fait rigoler Breakdown, vu qu'il appelait aussi le, le speedrunning une maladie justement avant de se lancer sérieusement dedans. Donc oui, assez dur. Bah, justement, il nous expliquait qu'en ce moment, après le marathon, il s'est mis sur Super Monkey Ball et VVVVVV, n'est-ce pas? qui Donc sur les time trials, les épreuves de temps de VVV pour avoir un meilleur temps, et Super Monkey Ball également pour essayer de, voilà, de faire un run deathless, de trouver les meilleures gruges, etc. Et donc voilà, parfois il essaye de se faire un jeu en mode tranquillou, mais on va dire que évidemment pour la grande majorité, enfin c'est un effort conscient évidemment, ça lui demande des efforts de faire un jeu normalement, c'est la maladie du speedrunning tout simplement. We've got a silly question from Days asking, you seem to love speed running. Do you love speed dating as well?
Well, speed dating's not really my thing. I'm actually engaged. Been with the same girl for the last 11
Oh, wow.
years.
Wow,
So,
nice.
yeah. So, no, speed dating's not really my thing. So, some things you gotta, take it slow, take your time, make sure you get it right. So,
Donc voilà, non, bah oui, donc voilà, Breakdown est fiancé, hein, désolé pour certaines qui pouvaient être intéressées. Donc Breakdown est engagé, fiancé depuis 11 ans avec la même demoiselle. Et il n'aime pas trop le speed dating, donc il semblerait qu'il préfère prendre son temps de l'amour, tout ça. So we got another question from MK, the eLive.pro main guy. So he's asking, do you consider speedrunning as a sport? People are talking more and more about esports when it comes to StarCraft or Counter-Strike, but it seems that speedrunning is really similar to rally or marathon. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, let's see. The whole esports thing, like, I can see it makes sense in like the big competitive games, like StarCraft and a lot of the fighting games, like where it's you've got hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people attending tournaments and things like that.
Yeah.
With speedrunning, I don't know. I just view it more as like a personal endeavor. Like I could see it maybe getting grouped under the esports thing, but at the same time, well, especially the speedrunning process itself it's I don't know, it's a whole lot of resets and a whole lot of trial and error. Um, Racing communities exist, like I mentioned before, with speedruns live, but I don't
Mm.
know, like maybe someday it'll get there, but for right now, I just don't see it. Something that it would need more exposure to really get on the same scale as something like the StarCraft and the Street Fighter 4 tournaments and things like that. So maybe someday, possibly, but it's not there yet.
Ok. Donc oui, donc oui, bah, par rapport au e-sports, donc avec justement les jeux compétitifs du style StarCraft et les jeux de combat, donc oui, Bagdad est plutôt dubitatif sur le sujet vu que voilà justement peut-être ça pourrait rentrer, mais évidemment le speedrunning c'est quelque chose de plus personnel qu'on fait seul, bon, parfois en streaming, mais avec beaucoup de resets. Voilà, c'est une performance, c'est beaucoup moins spectaculaire que les events de, voilà, justement, de compétitifs de StarCraft et de Street Fighter 4 où on a des, voilà, des dizaines de milliers de gens qui regardent ça en direct. Donc évidemment, on a un petit aspect versus qui se met en place avec des sites tels que Speedruns Live où justement on a des compétitions, des races sur des speedruns. Mais bon, malgré ça, voilà, ça semble peu probable que ça résonne autant activité que le e-sports comme on le pense justement sur des jeux tels que StarCraft ou Speedrun. Oh, we got a question from Timmy Ahmed, who is an active speedrunner actually, and I think I have part of that answer, but I'll leave it to you. Do you guys accept runs containing bugs that are later fixed by updates on the games? But I think you do because I've commented the Baldur's Gate, or maybe it was there's also that problem on Dragon Age, and I think you can submit a speedrun if it's on let's say 1.0 version, right?
Yeah, that's accurate. Usually for speedrunning, we encourage people to use whatever version is fastest, and usually after stuff's patched out, you can still access the earlier versions and the earlier patches still. So if one version is specifically better for speedrunning, usually that's what's used. Like, actually, a good console example for that would be Metroid Prime. It was one of the games that started it all past Quake on SDA, but there was the initial release, the Player's Choice release, and there was also the Metroid Prime Trilogy release. And with each new release, just more and more bugs kind of got squashed out of it. So basically, all speedrunning's done on that original version. And for PC games, sometimes depending on like what kind of bugs we're talking, sometimes like it'll merit a separate category or something like that if like a newer version people want to play like on a newer version versus the older version, but generally we encourage people to use whatever version is fastest.
Ok. Donc oui, voilà, tout pour bon, typiquement pour les jeux PC, mais c'est valable aussi pour les jeux consoles. Donc la SDA n'a aucun souci avec ça et encourage même à utiliser la version, disons la moins bien patchée entre guillemets. Disons que la version qui vous permet d'aller le plus vite du début à la fin, que ce soit avec bug ou choses non corrigées, et celle qui est encouragée, il n'y a absolument aucun souci. Donc voilà, même si des gens éventuellement veulent se lancer dans des challenges autres, la SDA encourage totalement la version qui vous permettra d'aller le plus vite du point début à au point final, tout simplement. Oh, we got a nice question from Shasha Fresh here. Do you think you'll have the occasion to show let's see, let me translate that. will we have the occasion to see how the money you got from the donations will be used later on, or does that just go to a general pool of money, or do you think maybe the foundation will be able to tell you that we use that chunk of money to do that and so on?
That's a possibility actually. Like I know, well, basically with the money we raised, we're able to completely underwrite a 2-year research grant for PCF, a grant they give out every year. In terms of
Mm.
specifics on for what that grant's gonna do at this point, we're not entirely sure. I know during Summer Games Done Quick last year, though, we were actually given the chance to pick a particular research study, something that they were going to do for autism research.
Yeah, the autism, sir.
I forget exactly what we picked. I wasn't really all that involved with the last Summer Games, so I didn't really weigh in on my 2 cents on that one. As for results of that research, well, research takes a while. It's
Yeah.
not something we're gonna know like immediately, certainly, but we might be able to kind of funnel it in a particular direction if that's what the question was. Yes. So.
Yeah, I think. Okay, perfect. So, donc oui, alors au niveau, donc c'est peut-être une possibilité donc au niveau de l'argent qui est récolté sur les marathons. Tout ça en fait est converti en une subvention qui est donnée par la SDA, donc là en l'occurrence pour la Prevent Cancer Foundation. Et là ils ont obtenu donc une subvention sur 2 ans, à savoir justement, à voir justement s'ils vont pouvoir aiguiller cette subvention. Et Breakdown nous explique que lors du dernier Summer Games Quick, qui lui par rapport au Summer Games Quick était basé sur la recherche pour aider les autistes. Là, par exemple, ils ont une subvention où ils avaient le choix justement de diriger leurs dons vers une recherche particulière, une aide particulière. Donc peut-être qu'au final, on verra des exemples concrets de ce qui est devenu l'argent du marathon au niveau de la recherche, mais il dit également, évidemment, la recherche dans ces domaines-là prend du temps, donc ça reste à voir. Another fun question from Days. Did you become ill after giving up your shirt because of us? So I got to clarify that one. Because during the marathon, we had a user who is here. His name is Martha. And he was spamming the the marathon with $2 donations, asking for you to take your shirt off. So you took your
Oh,
first
I
shirt
remember.
off, and then we started to get a movement going around that. But then at the end of the run that was going on at this time, you started to rage quit the room, so we couldn't keep donating to see if you were going to end up shirtless. So
Got out of there in a hurry. I did take off my overshirt. I gotta say, you guys really didn't want me to take off my shirt because I'm one of the whitest guys you'll ever meet, and yeah, I didn't want to blind the stream. But yeah, it was interesting. It was I guess interesting is the good word for it. But people taking interest on the stream is always good to see. And hey, you donated money to charity, so hats off for that. Um,
Donc voilà, bon bah oui, donc Magdan qui disait oui, je me souviens de ce moment-là, c'était marrant, mais il a dit ouais non, je m'étais barré pour faire autre chose, donc il disait que c'était intéressant, hein, évidemment c'est le mot le plus correct qu'il a trouvé, et donc il disait de toute façon il n'y aurait pas eu grand intérêt de me foutre à poil vu que je suis le mec le plus blanc qu'il existe sur Terre, et j'aurais tout simplement blanchi le stream, on n'aurait plus rien vu, donc voilà, mais bon il dit en tout cas c'est cool d'avoir donné de la maille, même si c'était juste pour ça. So you want to run a few more, or
we can do a couple more. I'm in no hurry here.
okay, let's take a few more. So we got a question from Commander Zod asking, which for you, which is the ideal length for a speed run? Something that is nice for both you and the audience.
Let's see. On the personal side of things, like I find like half hour to an hour usually about ideal. Like much longer than that, like I personally have some difficulty maintaining focus. Um, in terms of like watching it, as long as it's a game I like, I'll sit there and watch you play it for 7 hours if I'm enjoying myself. So. In terms of viewer experience, I think that really varies. But in terms of games like I like to play personally, like the half hour to hour range is kind of what I look for. So
Okay, perfect. Donc oui, en tant que joueur, bon, vous l'aurez compris, de 30 minutes à 1 heure, c'est ce qu'il préfère comme format, voilà, pour s'amuser, pour optimiser. C'est vrai que passer 1 heure, il trouve que c'est dur de rester concentré, évidemment, et les erreurs peuvent arriver plus régulièrement. Et par contre, en tant que spectateur, tant que c'est un jeu qu'il aime, ça ne le dérange pas de squatter l'écran pendant 7 heures ou plus. Donc voilà, ensuite, ça, c'est à la préférence, évidemment, du spectateur et ce qu'il aime regarder. Um, So we got yeah. So I forgot to say hi because it was misspelled, so I didn't know if it was really a Maikuyama on the chat, but it seems it is.
Oh, it's
So
definitely Mike. That's his screen name.
his screen name. Sorry, I didn't know about the screen name. So hello, Mike, and yeah, thank you again for the great marathon and the website. And say yeah, we were really excited to give out and watch this all the way through, even though I sacrificed a lot of my sleep time for this. So let's see if we have anything else. I don't see my nick highlight anymore. Oh yeah, we got another from Deadeye. What is your favorite game of all time, even if you don't think about speedrunning?
Oh goodness, that's a loaded question. It's let's see. Well, my knee-jerk reaction anytime anybody asks me that is Final Fantasy Tactics. That's just my knee-jerk
Oh,
reaction.
that's a
So
nice choice.
I just adore that game. I really do. It's about the
Mm.
best SRPG out there, as far as I'm concerned. And it lends itself well to like challenge quests and things like that. And I can just keep going back to it. I've logged definitely hundreds of hours onto that game, and been a while. I might go back to it now, actually. But
I
so,
do
but
that with Final
definitely,
Fantasy VI, but I don't know if I would find the courage to do a FFT run over and over.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't do a speed run of it. That's actually already been pretty well covered on SDA. There's a run by
Yeah.
a runner named Chess Jerk. It's really good run. Um, let's see other games. Love Zelda 2. Keep coming back to Zelda 2. Super Meat Boy
Yay.
is definitely it's got on the list even though it's new. I don't see me getting tired of it anytime soon. Um, let's see. Original Fantasy Star. I have a soft spot for that one.
Mm.
Yeah, that's just to name a few.
Okay. You said what was the last one? Fantasy Star on Master
Fantasy
System?
Star, yeah, on the Master
Yeah.
System.
Yeah, that's a good game. Okay. Donc oui, bon, alors en général à cette question-là, quel est son, oui, il faut que je traduise les questions aussi. Donc quel est son jeu favori de tous les temps, même si on ne pense pas au speedrunning. Donc en l'occurrence, c'était pour lui la réponse qu'il donne le plus souvent, c'est Final Fantasy Tactics, donc où il a passé des centaines et des centaines d'heures dessus et il se le refait régulièrement. D'ailleurs là, en parlant, ça lui donne envie de le renseigner. Et sinon, d'autres jeux également qui lui viennent, bah, c'est les jeux qu'il a speedrunné, en l'occurrence Zelda 2, voilà, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, que j'aime beaucoup également, et ça me fait plaisir de trouver quelqu'un qui crache pas dessus. Et Super Meat Boy, évidemment, Super Meat Boy, même si le jeu est récent, le trouve génial et il pense qu'il ne se fatiguera pas dessus de sitôt. Et également, il parle de Fantasy Star, l'épisode originel sur Sega Master System. Voilà. We got a disturbing question from Martha asking if you are shirtless right now.
No, I am sure Tid.
Donc voilà, non, il a un t-shirt. Désolé, Martha, tes fantasmes sont mis à bas. Donc Diak, the gateway. Um, okay, CMD Zod asking, do you ever rage while training with so many resets?
Yes, definitely prone to it. It's just only so much a man can take, certainly. And you keep dying in the same spot over and over again. And it'll get to you eventually. It definitely will. From what I understand, I'm lighter on the rage than most people, but I have the moments. I definitely do. So,
Ok, donc oui, bon alors même s'il est de nature assez zen et plus light que d'autres à ce niveau-là, oui, oui, il dit que ça arrive à tout le monde et qu'au bout d'un moment, tout homme trouve ses limites et que donc oui, il y a un moment où quand tu n'arrêtes pas de faire le sac sur le même moment, évidemment, tu pètes les plombs et donc voilà, ça lui arrive à tout le monde. Um, we got a we got a question from Cadwazo trying to maybe lure you in our community. Saying in the future, do you plan to use eLive or at least stay on it and attend to casts?
let's see. Well, the language barrier is a bit of a detriment, but it's a great community you guys have here. It's definitely a cool thing.
Mm,
I've got an account now, so maybe I
who
don't know.
knows?
I hadn't given that much thought. So
Well, you can use it yet to comment your own speedruns maybe. But the thing is, the website is based. All the creation and the hosting is in America actually, but it's just that the French community like took it for itself because we have a few popular casters in here, mainly Ken Bogert, who is our main caster for fighting games, Street Fighter 4, and so on. So we got a lot of French geeks on the website, but actually we have Japanese people right now. But I guess that ideally the owner of the website would like an American audience as well. So yeah, okay, that's cool. Okay, maybe. Oh, we got a new user I don't know here. So, oh yeah. So Hober1083 asking, do you play some arcade games, games on arcade, and are you interested by super playing the super play genre, like no miss runs on games like Ghouls and Ghosts and stuff like that?
oh, I love watching super plays. It's what superplay.co.uk. There's some mostly shmups is what I go for in arcade games. Some of the older beat 'em ups are fun. Like beat 'em ups not really my genre, but there's games like Battle
Mm.
Circuit. Love me some Battle Circuit. There's some like older arcade games I'm into too, like the original Goonies game. That's a really fun game. There was Nintendo put out like a versus Goonies game, and that's a lot of fun. A lot of shooters too, like Rising games a lot, like Armed Police Batrider, Battle Garaga. Um, yeah, no, I definitely love me some arcade games. Definitely do. And super plays are just insane to watch because usually the difficulty on those games is just so high. It's just nice to see
Yeah.
them get destroyed.
But about the Super Play site on the UK website, it seems to be barely up every time I go there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's well, people are still paying the server costs, so the runs are still there, but it's definitely died down in recent years. Like my
Yeah.
understanding of it, like I was never really part of their community or anything like that, but it was primarily an Ikaruga site,
Oh,
and just
okay.
people lost interest over time. But they host videos for all kinds of other games too, so there's lots of good stuff to watch on that site. It's just I hope it stays
That way.
alive.
Yeah, ok. Donc oui, enfin, donc personnellement, je sais pas s'il compte en faire, mais en tout cas, il aime beaucoup les Superplay sur arcade, donc il va justement sur le site de superplay.co.uk, je crois, le site anglais, mais bon, qui a beaucoup de problèmes de vitesse, hein. C'est extrêmement dur parfois d'accéder aux vidéos. Mais voilà, il aime tout ce qui est, notamment sur les shmups, justement. Il nous expliquait justement que ce site anglais avait commencé par des runs d'Ikaruga et qui, semble-t-il, l'intérêt avait baissé au fil des années. Mais donc voilà, il est grand fan de ça, même aussi sur les beat'em up, même si c'est pas vraiment son genre de jeu, etc., etc. Donc je vous ai mis là en haut à gauche un article que Mike Uyama a pasté dans le chat, a priori un article justement sur ce qu'a fait la SDA par rapport au fait qu'ils ont pris 145 000 dollars évidemment sur la Prevent Cancer Foundation. Um, okay, we got. I think we'll. Oh yeah, we'll take. Let's see. We'll take two silly questions and then a final good one. Sounds good to you?
Works for me.
Okay. So got a one from Deadeye. Do oh now I have to remember the English name for this. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't. What's that thing you have on your head?
That thing I have on my head.
Yeah, when you speedrun,
Well,
like Cosmo, right there.
I've got my hat.
Just a hat.
Had that hat for years actually.
Okay, so he's asking.
Um,
He's asking actually. I thought there was another name for it. So, does your hat is your hat Lucky Charm for speedrunning, and is it available for sale anywhere so that I can also myself become a speedrunning superhero?
um, well, don't consider it really like a lucky charm or anything. It's just a hat that I own that I like. Actually, let's see, how long ago did I get this thing? Like, I was in high school when I got this hat, so I was like, I'm gonna age myself here a little bit, but that was a good like 12, 13 years ago, something like that, that I actually got this hat. And I didn't actually like specifically buy it either. It was kind of like an afterthought, and it was I had a coupon where I got $25 off if I spent 50, and I was at like 48 or something like that. So I just grabbed this hat to put it over.
Okay.
But yeah, no, but I've gotten definitely more mileage out of it than anything else I bought that day. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the hat. As for if it's still for sale, I wouldn't hold your breath. Maybe you could find one. I don't know. I'm not sure of like the brand on it or anything like that. It's just a hat that I wear, so
Ok.
I like it.
Nice. Donc voilà, bon ce bonnet n'est pas vraiment un porte-bonheur. Donc c'est un bonnet qu'il a eu au collège, donc il y a déjà 12-13 ans. Et donc et en gros il avait un bon de réduction. En gros s'il achetait pour $50 de fringues, il avait 20 $ de réduc. Et donc il avait juste pris le bonnet pour compléter son achat pour passer les $50. Et donc voilà, bah, il aime bien son bonnet, donc il le porte, hein, c'est tout. Et pour ce qui est de le trouver quelque part, il a dit ouais bon, ne retiens pas trop ton souffle, il ne sait même plus de quelle marque c'est, donc ça risque d'être compliqué. So yeah, the other silly question from Miss Shannon. Uh, so did Chip ever get any message from the game developers for breaking their games down? Okay.
Actually, I've never had a developer contact me. Can't say that I have. I know one of our runners last year, Trekhawk, he got contacted by Rare after his Banjo Kazooie run, and I
Oh.
actually did an interview with the Rare affiliate. Let's see, he lives in the Netherlands. I forget which Rare affiliate interviewed him, but it was one of the European-based ones. But
Okay.
personally, no, I've never been contacted by a developer for breaking their games down. So,
Alright. Donc oui, non, non, ce n'est jamais arrivé. Par contre, il nous parlait de l'histoire de Treycock qui, l'année dernière, avait été contacté par Rare pour être publié dans un de leurs blogs ou un de leurs sites suite à son run sur Banjo Kazooie. Um, okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if Mike would like to be on the mic actually after that, but let's see. Wow, I'm lost in the chat. So many questions. So, okay. Um, yeah. Well, on a un peu répondu à ça, Goom, justement sur le speedrun français, mais. Uh, oh yeah, maybe one from Saori, French girl who actually donated as well, was present. So can you break down which of the speedruns did you enjoy the most? I guess during the marathon or maybe in general. I don't know. Maybe you can answer both.
let's see. During the marathon, there were a lot of really good runs during the marathon.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's really hard to pick just one. It really is. I really enjoyed Shadow of the Colossus. Like
Ah.
that was really, really, really well done. And I know Naglaria, the guy who was doing it, like he was practicing like a fiend, like the whole time he was there. Like he was definitely the practice room warrior. So, but apparently, like the run he got live, like beat his best time by like 5 or 6 minutes or something like that, and it was just really fun to watch. I was happy to be on the couch for that one. So,
Nice.
so yeah, definitely, it's definitely up there among my favorites, certainly. So I'll go with that for that answer. Um, as for runs on the sites, you can't go wrong with like basically any of the classic Mega Man runs.
Yeah.
Mega Man 2 especially, the glitched Mega Man 2 runs are just they'll blow your mind. They really will. Also, much love for Dark Castle. Oh yes,
Dark
it's
Castle.
like
Is that
it's
the
like a minute and a half, but it's
yeah, that's the horrible
it,
game on
it
Genesis, right?
it's a horrible game. Oh,
Yeah,
it really is.
I know.
But yeah,
Uh,
to see it beaten in a minute and a half, and if you ever try to do it yourself, you will appreciate just how hard that first jump is. But
Alright. So, donc oui, bah, au niveau, vous l'aurez compris sûrement, mais au niveau, voilà, au niveau du marathon, son run, un de ses runs, il a beaucoup aimé de run. C'est vrai qu'il y a eu énormément de beaux speedruns lors du marathon, mais un de ceux qui a le plus marqué, c'est celui de Shadow of the Colossus de Anegleria, évidemment, qui il lui disait évidemment que c'était aussi marrant parce que justement ce speedrunner-là s'entraînait comme un fou, comme un taré dans la training room, hein, tout simplement. Et finalement, avait battu son record personnel de 5 ou 6 minutes. C'est vrai que c'était un très beau run. Et sinon, pour les runs, en général, sur le site, il nous dit tout simplement que voilà, on peut pas se tromper en général avec les classiques old school, justement les runs de Megaman qui sont très drôles à voir, dont justement celui de Megaman 2, où c'est très impressionnant de voir les glitches. Et il nous parlait aussi du run de Dark Castle. Évidemment, Dark Castle, pour ceux qui connaissent le joueur du grenier, je crois qu'il l'a fait. Je sais que l'Angry Vodoyan l'a fait, mais je crois que le joueur du grenier aussi l'a fait. C'est un jeu horrible sur Mega Drive. Et donc, Dark Castle, un jeu horrible, mais dont le speedrun est fait en 1 minute à peu près, 1 minute 30, avec un saut démoniaque. Et donc, ça aussi, ça l'amuse toujours beaucoup. Voilà. Okay, I'll take a last one from FlavDK because I think it's good, and then I'll leave you be.
Okay.
What do you think about tool-assisted speedruns and the kind of dirty aspect of that massive bug exploitation?
I've got no problem with tool-assisted speedruns. Like, really, the only problems that arise for them is when they get confused with like actual, just real live
Yeah,
performed
that happens
speedruns.
often.
But for tool-assisted runs for what they are, I think they're great. I enjoy watching them. This really just got to keep that distinction in place. That's the way I've always put it. Is that tool-assisted runs are more created and speedruns are performed. Like that's just the important distinction there. But tool assisted runs, as long as you know it's tool assisted and know what's going on behind the scenes with them, they're great fun to watch. It's nice to see the games broken down to their simplest parts, and sometimes you can learn like cool things from them for an actual speed run that you otherwise wouldn't find. Like they're the tool assisted people are some of the best glitch finders out there, and without them, a lot of the runs on SDA wouldn't be nearly as good as they are. So much
True.
love to the tool assisting community.
Bon, bah non, en fait, il a aucun problème avec les tasses. Il trouve que c'est extrêmement drôle à voir et que justement, bah, sans l'aide des tasses et des glitches démoniaques qu'ils découvrent, qu'ils exploitent, il y aurait peut-être beaucoup moins de runs sur la SDA. Ensuite, évidemment, la seule chose qui l'agace, et ça, c'est vrai que c'est agaçant parce que les néophytes en général se font avoir par ça, c'est qu'évidemment, il y a beaucoup de gens qui confondent les real-time speedruns, les speedruns en temps réel, avec les tool assist, ce qui n'a rien à voir vu que le real-time, c'est le joueur avec sa manette en mode VMR télé, et évidemment, le tool assisted, c'est énormément de re-record et d'exploitation de bugs scriptés. Voilà, alors désolé, Saori crée une autre question, je vois ça, mais oh, you must be on automatic volume. Start screaming.
Say what?
No, yeah, that's another. No, it's just it's the automatic volume feature of eLive, and sometimes if you don't speak for a while, your volume keeps going up and up and up. That's
Oh,
all.
I see.
Yeah, you can turn it off in the setup microphone options, but it's okay since we're at the end, no problem. Donc,
All right.
so yeah, we got a few more, but I think I'll leave you be for now. So thank you very much for coming and
Oh, hey, thanks for
answering all the
having me.
questions, and great,
This was
great
fun,
marathon.
definitely.
And thanks to all the SDA staff on the chat. We got my character I see there. So, donc n'hésitez pas hein, si vous avez envie de vous faire un peu l'heure par mes caractères, c'est là. Et voyons voir. Let's see. Put that again. Got all the links there. The guys fly. The article. So many links right now. But yeah, I'll explain all of them while you're gone. So yeah, you can close the window whenever you want. So if you have some parting words, just go ahead. And thank you again.
I just want to say thanks for having me, and yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for supporting the marathon. Really do appreciate it. Having it, knowing it's being recasted in another languages, actually was pretty cool for all of us there. So, but yeah, and hope to see you at the next one.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, thank you. Have a nice evening and maybe chat later.
All right, sounds great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye. Donc voilà, évidemment, Breakdown qui nous a remercié tous d'avoir été aussi présents au marathon et que tout le monde là-bas avait trouvé ça extrêmement sympathique. Qu'il y avait autant de. Qu'il y avait l'event tout simplement totalement retranscrite en français. Ça leur a fait très très plaisir. So thanks to my character, I see Nagleria, I see Mike Uyama. So yeah, I'm not gonna harass you for coming on the microphone right now, but maybe some other time we'll talk again about the SDA. We love the SDA and what you guys do. It's amazing, and it's been a great pleasure broadcasting the marathon in French, and we'll do it again without a doubt on future events, of course. Let's see. I'll just put some music up instead of the video background. There we go. So, alors, bah, je peux reparler en français, suis-je bête, hein, évidemment. Donc voilà, donc c'était cool. On a eu Chip Breakdown Vogel, ça c'est cool. Oh merde, j'ai oublié de lui présenter les macarons. Oh, guys, if you listen to me still, I forgot to. I wanted to offer some macaroons for for breakdown before we left. So you will be able to click on that image and show it to him. I was curious about which macaroon he would have picked on this really interesting selection. Unfortunately, I absolutely forgot about it before. Macaroons, yeah, breakdown. Yeah, I don't know which one. Which one would you take? I don't know myself. I think this one is pretty worrying, to be honest. This one too, actually, maybe. But yeah, I forgot too. That was supposed to be the silly moment before you left. So yeah, you let me know. Third row, third column. That would be this one. Yeah, I think, huh? I think that's the one. Interesting choice. So you like them a little brownie. Okay. Perfect. Say you can. So okay, breakdown was still in the cast. Perfect. Donc voilà pour tout ça. Sinon, on va parler un peu de statistiques avant de se barrer. Donc qu'est-ce qu'on a? Donc oh là là, c'est le bordel. Les plushies, non les pearlers, hein, les pearlers c'est Make Ace Fly. On a l'article, on a Speedrun Live pour les races. Donc c'est n'importe quoi, je fais n'importe quoi. Donc voilà, donc les stats du commentaire live, on a eu 15 452 vues en direct. Donc bah, je vais le faire en anglais. So we had 15,452 live views, live hits on the French commentary. We had live peak of 298 people watching the stream and listening to the French commentary as well. We had 57 casters commenting the games, commenting the marathon all throughout. And as far as our achievements went, we gave a few $1,000 to be quite honest. I don't know how many. It's maybe the people over at the SDA or whoever is in charge of the tracker will be able to sort the results by country or whatever. And we managed to have Prince of Persia Sands of Time in French when we finally decided on which challenge to focus on. And we had almost 100 messages right on the stream, and that's why I was afraid that Mike and the crew would think that this was a commercial act. But no, just random guys on a website being bored and wanting to cover the awesome event. So I'll stop the English right now. So thank you SDA, great job. And so voilà, donc voilà les stats du SDA. Merci d'avoir été nombreux lors du cast. Donc voilà, merci beaucoup à Breakdown, c'était vraiment super de pouvoir faire ça. Désolé s'il y a des questions que j'ai oubliées. Et on se retrouve très bientôt, même si mon emploi du temps est absolument sévère en ce moment. J'espère pouvoir refaire des spin bientôt, bien entendu, et des choses à venir au niveau français. Et n'hésitez pas à vous inscrire aussi sur le forum de la Speed Demos Archive si vous voulez vous lancer là-dedans et voir un peu ce qui s'y passe. Allez, merci beaucoup, bonne nuit à tous et d'énormes bisous. Voilà.